Sim Racing Showdown? The Drive for 500 is coming on February 14th, 2026. This isn't just any race. The winner takes home this exclusive, custom-made trophy. A one-of-a-kind prize that you won't want to miss. But that's not all. Every driver who qualifies and completes at least 50% of the laps will score exclusive giveaways. So whether you're fighting for first place or just making the field, there's something for everyone. Plus, we're on a mission to hit 500 subscribers by race day. Your support powers the race, so subscribe now and help us cross that finish line.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Vortex Racing Network's production of the Dennis Puckett Big Trucking Tuesday series. The Bonfire Racing League is in round number 8 of our 13-race regular season, and they have come to battle at Watkins Glen. You're watching the Property Management Incorporated at the Glen 110, sponsored by Jake Johnson. Watkins Glen, 2.4 miles of road course, 7 turns, and today 32 drivers. Auto Club exciting last week. Watkins Glen, plenty on the menu here today. 3 wide in the booth. Mean Gene Money, Zach Panzarella, Smokin' Joe bringing you all the action. Busy week last week, Zach.
Yeah, real busy, Mean Gene. A lot of drama last week, a really exciting race, but definitely some repercussions for a lot of these drivers, including our winner. We're going to have some penalties that are going to have to be served here at the Glen today.
Oh, you can't do that. A few people going to be penalized. And you know what? Let's bring Smokin' Joe out here. I mean, no time like the present. Joe, break it down for us.
Yep, so the race last week brought a couple penalties to a few drivers for some various reasons. Nicholas Rendo was suspended for 2 races and put on probation for the remainder of the season for what was deemed intentional wrecking and constant cause of contact and overly aggressive driving with blocking, leading to evasive actions and from multiple drivers and the cause of multiple cautions. Sam Milliken, it looks like there was poor awareness under caution leading to contact with another. So that was just noted. No warning, anything like that.
His head was flapping. His head was flapping, Joe. Couldn't see.
Yeah, yeah. So that was just noted by race officials. Nothing to come of that one.
No, we all saw.
David Owens was suspended for, this is the big one, suspended for 1 race, lost 5 playoff points if he makes the playoffs. for intentionally bringing out a caution for benefit, plus repeated inappropriate language or use of the voice comms during races despite multiple previous warnings. And then 2 other drivers were given inappropriate language over voice comms, EOL penalties, and official warnings for our next race at Bristol, the next oval race. That would be Kevin Kyle and Eric Gambrill.
Potty mouth. They're like Ralphie in Christmas Story, Zach. You gotta go to the bathroom and put the soap in your mouth.
Yeah, they do. I mean, a lot of those, me and Gene, I mean, obviously, like Joe said there, the big one being David Owens. They pretty much Austin Dilloned him there, if you remember a couple of years ago in Richmond when Austin Dillon did worse than what Owens did for sure. But they took away his playoff points and they took away his playoff eligibility, actually, or at least made it so that playoff win, or that win did not get him automatically into the playoffs. Owens still is going to be eligible, but with this suspension, he is going to have perfect attendance for the rest of the season. Not to mention, he is not going to be taking home any points from this race, so definitely going to shake things up on the top of the points. Really, really big move by the league there, but I don't necessarily see anything that I disagree with there, me and Gene.
Why would you bring up Austin Dillon doing that? Do you know, like he should have had to go. He should have had to drive a Penske car made in the shape of a clown car for the next 3 races after taking away the GOAT's chance at another win there. All right, so let's go back to reality here. David Owens, 3 wins in a row. This guy pushed himself up to second in points, 5 races, 5 top 5s, 3 wins all in a row. Owens on fire, now going to have to serve the 1 race penalty. Not over for Mr. Chill. David has the opportunity to come back next week at Bristol, continue that winning streak of races he participates in, and if he makes every race, he will hit that minimum number for qualification to get into the playoffs. Now, the obstacle, A, of course, perfect attendance, but B, once he gets there, he's going to get docked at 5 points for the round of 12, goes to the round of 8, gets docked 5 again. So it'll be an uphill battle for David, but multi-time, multi-series champion. No doubt in my mind, if David has the time to commit, that is a car we're going to see battling for advancements in the playoffs. No win and you're in here. This is all about point accumulation, and then also no tiebreakers. So if everybody ties at 12, they will all go in. And that's exactly what we're looking at as you look right there on that cutoff line with Matt Novella and Eddie P having the same amount of points. Now, below them, look at the speed. We've seen McWhorter up front win before. We've seen Johnson up front, Ferdiani, Zach Williams, Sam Milliken. All these guys, Austin Rayborn, really fast rookie. So not over yet. And with the large fields that we've seen, Zach, it is very easy for somebody to take a header, get 1 point, you have a decent day, and you suddenly make up 25, 30 points in one outing.
Yeah, and I definitely think today is going to be one of those days, especially when a lot of those drivers that are right there in the cut line, all they really have to do today is survive and advance. That's really what these road course races are about. Biggest thing about these, Mean Gene, is no caution, pretty much no matter what, unless there's a permanent blockage on the track, which I don't think we've seen in the history of this league on a road course. We will not be getting a caution today. No stage caution and no full course caution. So if you can keep your truck clean and get it to the end, this is a big opportunity for a lot of points. Not to mention that a lot of these drivers don't like this form of racing and don't show up to these tracks.
Yeah, a little bit smaller field, but it is larger than what we saw last year. Last year, they were at Watkins Glen. We saw 29 drivers, and David Owens took the win. Nick Mills came home in second. Sam Ballard third. No Ballard nor Owens today, but Nick Mills is out there, but he's going to have to face a very fast and a very frustrated, I would think, Joe Vulpes. Vulpes 0.8 of a second faster in practice, and also had some rough breaks the last, almost 2 weeks of being in striking position for the win, and then bumping or getting bumped, I should say, by someone else, taking him out of contention. Still with that huge lead, as you saw, though, based on the consistency. Eurospeed Racing bringing us our in-season challenge. As you can see, they have made it to, oh, what are we going to call this?
Semis?
Let's, you know what? Let's call it the round of 16.
Sure.
That makes it very easy for us. So good matchup here. Joe Volpe, Zach Williams. Williams has had some good runs, but he's going to need something big to happen. Joe, such an expert on all different varieties of track, but especially these road courses, just so hard to match. Double O Joe going to face off with Eric Gambrell here. Gambrell has had some success on the ovals. Very fascinated. This will be my first time to see Gambrell out here on a road course. You seen him on one of these yet, Zach?
Yes, I have, and he is quick. Gambrell is one of those guys that has the speed to hang with just about anyone on these tracks, but has a hard time finishing. It's 45 laps around the Glen here, and one mistake surrounded by these walls can really cost you a lot, especially without that fast repair. So that's what I've seen Gambrell struggle with, but it's not uncommon to see him running in the top 5 of these type of tracks.
Well, we're going to just have to keep an eye on that developing, because we do know that Joe Bennett very fast on the other tracks. So can't wait to see what these two guys do. Next round, Stephen Neal facing off with Kevin Kyle. This ought to be a really good matchup. Neal is quick on road courses. I've seen him race, especially trucks, so well. Seen him in the Pro Cup on Sundays last season and the season before, and he always seemed to have a little extra on the road courses when I watched him. Zach, he snuck right up into the top 10 regularly. So we'll see. Kevin Kyle, perennial Final Four driver here. We'll see what he's got to say about that. Austin Rayburn, Rookie of the Year candidate, going to face off with Mills. Zach, that dude, he got second last year, so the rookie going to have a big uphill climb here today.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Nick Mills, a really strong road course driver. We're going to have our eyes on him all day today. Then we also got Jaron Valley and Matt Schofield. I'm going to be curious to see what Jaron Valley can do here. I don't know if I've seen him on a road course before, Gene, so I'm excited to see that. And then Matthew Smith going to get to move on automatically just by showing up here today. Tommy Fox and Zach Winstead will be facing off. Fox, another one that's able to put together some consistent road course races. Keep your eye on him. And then Paul Ferdiani and David Brenner will be the last matchup.
You know, Matt Smith, big flowers to Smith. Last week got third. So that's a guy that is making progress here. If he can keep it up here, we'll see Matt Smith continue to progress. 9th in points coming into Watkins Glen here today. That's that trademark red 96 he loves, not having sponsors. And you know what?
Or from bumpers.
I'm so sorry, man. I can't believe I still have the power.
Any potential sponsor looking at that and thinking, oh, well, we can't afford that.
There's Rich Swingle putting on a show. Moo baby.
Change his look a little bit. His beard.
What is that, a happy cow?
That's certainly a happy cow. I hope Steve Lewis doesn't eat it.
Oh, no. I didn't even think of that. So Rich Swingle out here, the 97. Rich also puts up some fantastic...
Stop it, Mean Gene. Stop.
Movie.
God. Stop saying nice things about these drivers. And qualifying is over. Mercifully, it is over. Mean Gene can't hurt you guys anymore.
Before I ruin some more trucks.
Jesus.
Unbelievable. Qualifying is over. And big shout out, congratulations to Joe Volpe. Smoking Joe. Gonna take that pole up at the top. Congratulations. You are the winner of the Sim and Destroy Racing Company pole position. That's right, Sim and Destroy Racing Company, an apparel company, the latest endeavor by Kevin Kyle. Check them out. They got shirts, they got hats, they got what you need. Joe Volpe's going to be joined up there on the front row by Stephen Neal, the number 45, going to fire off from the second position. Double O Joe going to be starting in third. Kevin Kyle going to join him on the second row. Kyle Lynott, Gulf Coast driver, starting in the fifth position, joined by teammate David Brenner in the number 22. Zach Engel, welcome back, Zach. Zach did not run last week, fell out of the playoff picture, but back here to get back into the running. Tommy Fox, going to see what the Fox has to say today as he is going to start in 8th. Adam Mailhot, the finest dressed driver in the Dennis Puckett Big Trucking Tuesday, going to start in 9th. Best starting position for Mailhot this season. 10th going to be Alex McWhorter. McWhorter right on that playoff line. Going to see some action out of the 15 today. Jake Johnson starting in 11th. Jake, of course, today's sponsor. Thank you so much, Jake, as our sponsor for the Property Management Incorporated at the Glen 110. Nick Mills, Psycho, going to fire off from 12th to see what the 20 can do here today. And Jake O'Shea joining him, or firing off from 13th. Jaron Valley, Simmon Destroy Racing Company factory driver, going to be starting 14th. Chris Smith, going to be 15th, and Tom Barish firing off from the 16th position.
In 17th is going to be Ryan Newman. And one thing to note, me and Gene, already we are at 2+ seconds slower than our pole time. So lots of separation here with these laps. 18th place is going to be Zach Williams. Timothy Foss, great week last week. He'll be starting over in 19th. Starting in 20th will be Keegan Lazar. 21st will belong to Eric Gambrel. And then 22nd, Paul Ferdiani. Joseph Amato will be starting in 23rd. Chuck Krieger will be in 24th. Matthew Smith, we talked a little bit about him pre-race. He'll be moving on in the in-season tournament. He'll be starting 25th. Swingle will be in 26th. Joe Quinn will be in 27th. And then our first car that didn't put down a time is the 5 defending champion of AJ Benish. A little bit surprising there to see Benish not put down a time. And then rounding out the rest of the field, none of these cars that put down times either, or trucks I should say, and that is Matt Schofield, Sam Milliken, Steve Lewis, and rounding out the 32 truck field is Austin Rayborn.
So we're going to see the rookie Rayborn starting in the bottom there. See what he can do. Remember, he is battling for Rookie of the Year and also advancement in the Euro Speed in-season tournament. So plenty of cars lined up. 32 drivers getting ready to do battle.
Short parade lap here, I think.
Yeah, they're getting ready to kick that Porsche right off of the track.
Don't get used to that Porsche. Won't see it again for the rest of the day.
That's right. No cautions scheduled here. Waiting to see how Vulpes going to approach that, rolling up to the start-finish line. Flag is going to be dropped. Away we go. Joe Vulpes is going to take him into turn 1. Let the excitement begin, Jack. Nowhere more fun than turn 1.
Yeah, this is usually where you see some calamity, especially on turn 1, lap 1. A tough and tight corner to get through, and then through these S's, like I always say at the Glen here, me and Gene, you're surrounded by walls on both sides here. You really don't want to make a mistake here, and going side by side through this section is asking a lot of these drivers. So far, so good.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Looks like Chuck Kigger barely made it to his truck. I think he was in the Porta-John starting from the pits. Finally gets into it, and Chuck gets back on the track. Good job, buddy.
He made it, and maybe he will avoid some of the craziness as we get ready to go through the bus stop for the first time. Another fast section of this track, and Jake Johnson's around. Jake Johnson around, nearly into the tire barriers.
The 77 looks like he was involved as well.
Oh, yeah, the 37 too. Smith involved in that one too. He is hard into the inside wall. Yeah, and you see some sheet metal flying around now onto the track from Schofield. Schofield with a good amount of damage, and it looks like he's going to be parking it for the day, lighting up the radio.
No, run it, Matt. You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, we'll see.
You can take the damage here in the U.S. I don't know how they do it over the pond, but you can handle it. Matt Schofield last year was one of our Championship 6 drivers. This year, a little bit of unfortunateness there in the 61 Bud Light Ford, and yeah, it looks like he is. Well, it looks like he's going to keep her out. You look at that. He's got another lap.
Hey, good job. Got to stay tough with it. Up front, Vulpes and Neal. Really already opening up a really big lead back to the 3rd place of Kevin Kyle. 3 seconds already back to Kyle. That's how quickly it will happen here at the Glen. But one thing that is happening is Neal is keeping Vulpes honest right here, keeping the pressure on. And sometimes that's the best way to race here at the Glen. Instead of some hard racing side by side, just putting that pressure on is enough sometimes. That Jake Johnson's actually bringing down in the pits, me and Gene.
Yeah, Jake Johnson getting that 32 looked at. Magic not happy. Florida Man Racing driver getting some issues addressed here. Might as well take tires while you're in there, huh?
Bennett off the pace, it looks like. Yeah, might as well. I mean, who knows what they went through. Bennett went through the carousel on the top there, very off the pace. Looks like it's going to be Angle behind him, see if he's able to do anything about that. Not this time around. And this just really goes to show how different of a discipline this is. JZ Bennett been so good on the ovals, such a dominant driver, but here we are turning right, and it seems like it's a whole different game.
Yep. Meanwhile, a little bit of action throughout the field. I'm looking back in the back of it. Somalian driver Austin Rayborn doing battle with Chris Smith. Oh, and looks like Jake O'Shea around again, the 77. Going to go for a spin back on the track now, but you can see there, well off the pace. O'Shea currently being shown in 24th position, still having a big time with it.
Yeah, still all over the track, but that's why you can see Keeger right there, happy that he started in the pits. There's one more spot for him. He's already gotten Jake Johnson and O'Shea, and I just heard someone apologizing to AJ Benish, but he's looking okay. And Benish doing a good job making his way through the field already. We saw him be the first car not to put down a lap time, really not maybe wanting to be part of how that bus stop craziness that we saw damage multiple cars. But the separation already starting to form throughout this field quite a bit.
Yeah, and so a lot of single cars here, but as we fade through the field, look right behind JZ Bennett, Double O Joe. I got him in 6th place. And then behind him, look just how close those other drivers are. Yeah, Zach.
We got to move to the inside.
Ooh, Zach goes wide. Mail Hot going to duck it on down and go by. The sharp dressed man moving up.
Nice pass on the last corner of the racetrack right there. That's a really sketchy corner for a lot of these drivers. It looks easy, but it's so loose, and that wall comes at you quicker than you think. And there goes Tommy Fox shooting to the bottom. He's going to get that spot on Angle as well. So Angle going the wrong direction right now, but it's early in this race, and this one is so much more about survival than it is anything else, and it's also about a lack of mistakes. A little bit off the pace is so much better than damage.
Yeah, you know, looking at those lap speeds, Vulpes was 0.8 of a second faster than everybody else, than the second place truck of Stephen Neal.
Oh, 77's ran again.
Full second ahead of Kyle Lynott and the others. Ooh, rough day for O'Shea. It's
the Hoonigan logo. He's trying to put on a drifting display.
Yeah, he wants the track. You know what it is? I think this is a sponsor ploy. They told him
it is
not concerned with how he does today, but make sure you get that blue, yellow, pink ride on air as much as you can. So, grats to him. Mission accomplished. Speaking of mission accomplished, look at the fast mover, Joe Amato, that number 19 Chevrolet, putting on a little display. Started 23rd, moved up to 12th right now.
Wow.
And
we got smoke in front of him, Mean Gene, actually. Looks like that may be Kevin Kyle.
Or Nick Mills. I saw Mills drop
Yeah, it's
down
a
bit.
sim and destroy car. It's Nick Mills, you're right. It was a sim and destroy car. He got loose on the last corner, it appears. Hit the tire barrels. I'm not seeing any significant damage. Sorry to cut you off there.
No worries. I actually saw it pop up on my SDK. He went gray for a moment, so perhaps he was aimed like he was going to go in after that spin. Brutal there. Nick Mills, of course, remember, second place last week for Nick. Now finds himself fading back after that incident there right by the pit road entrance. We're on lap number 5 here at the Property Management Incorporated at the Glen 110. Jake Johnson, our sponsor this year. Thank you so much for your support, Jake. Pretty wild race for some of these guys.
Yeah, look at Lynott. Look at Kyle's. Kevin Kyle and Kyle Lynott right now. This is some intense racing, and this is for a podium position early on. Kyle Lynott, I think, a very underrated road course racer, Mean Gene. He is so good at this, and Kevin Kyle has been showing so much improvement on these type of racetracks. But here it is, the best passing zone, turn 1, and Kyle Lynott gonna make perfect work of that.
Yeah, you can see Kevin Kyle responding by rolling it into that turn, thinking he could keep up, but finally now with Lynott getting by, you can see the speed in that 988. Kevin Kyle not going anywhere, but Lynott now with some open track in front of him can start thinking about Stephen Neal. Stephen Neal does have about a 4-second lead over the two Kyles. But now that Lynott leads that bunch, I would assume we're going to see some genuine speed out of the Gulf Coast driver. Stephen Neal, again, just great day, second fastest in practice. And this is something, you know, Stephen, there's something about these road courses, and I don't know if it's the other people don't prep as well. Stephen Neal goes out of his way to make sure that he's good on these things. But again, just last year we did the Pro and the Am on the Sunday broadcast with the Premier Cup, and Stephen was running in the Am, but the 2 road courses that we hit, he was one of the guys that was running with the pros consistently on those road courses. So this is just something either he's a natural at, maybe he's Jason Landry's lost child, no clue. But the 45 definitely just shines anytime he gets the opportunity to be on their road course.
I think it has a lot to do, too, with what we came up on before we got to this platform, me and Gene. Road course racing, I always say, was my first love. When I got to this platform, I started on Formula V, and then I moved over to Oval once Dalton Geyer got me into a few leagues. And then from there, road course racing is always... Doing? Oh, Joe Volpes off the pace. I'm sorry. Volpes off the pace.
Joe
Neal to the
doing?
lead. And it looks like it was just a downshift. We're hearing from our pit reporter here. It was just a downshift, so that's all it took. A 2-second mistake there for Joe Volpes, and there we go. No damage done to the truck, luckily, but Steve Neal going to get to lead a lap here. One of the few ways you can earn a bonus point here on Tuesday.
Oh, you got to go find that. That's
so
something.
Was it a spin or was it just a downshift? Oh, I got it. Yeah. We can take a look at this, me and Gene. It didn't take long for me to find. It's going through the bus stop here. I think he's going to downshift right here is my guess. Yep, there it is. Nice save. Real nice save, really. But yeah, that is a 2-second mistake right there.
Yeah, and I imagine his tire's also going to be a little...
Not too happy with him.
A little upset with him, but makes it interesting. Stephen Neal putting in good laps. Joe had that nice 2-second lead. All of a sudden, Neal's going to sneak on by him, and now Joe has to completely refocus and now not only put in the good laps, but he's got Stephen Neal in front of him. And equal distance behind him, Kyle Lynott creeping into the picture as well. Yeah. You can see that white 988 now bringing it in. So Joe's mistake there suddenly opens the door to make all 3 podium drivers very close to one another. Kevin Kyle cruising behind them in 4th. Has to be content with where he is now. And we'll see what he can do after a little pit stop. David Brenner in 5th. Look at the run by Mailhot. 6th place right now. Really looking good on this road course. Makes me wonder if he's one of you, Zach, one of those road course guys that just loved it so much and then made it come over.
And then speaking of guys who love it, look at Volpes. He's already back to Neal.
Yeah, not going to take Joe very long. Again, 0.8 of a second faster a lap. And that's what we're seeing right here. He's suddenly right on that. But, Neal's not going to be an easy pass. He knows once Volpes goes by, it's all she wrote. The fat lady will begin her song unless another accident occurs.
Volpes misses the bus stop there. This is going to open up for Lynott.
No, and there they go. Look how close these 3 are. We usually don't get this kind of activity at Watkins Glen. It's usually 1 or 2 guys just kind of zip away. So great excitement right here to see this battle, 1, 2, 3 all together. And let's just see how hard they take this set of turns right here. Seen a lot of slippage in this turn number 7.
Yeah, this last turn here as well. This is going to be an interesting lap right here. These are the closest these 3 have been together since the green flag dropped. Volpes clearly faster than Neal, but not able to find an area to make the pass. Neal getting great runs off the corners, so he's able to put up some sort of defense, and he's also angling himself into the corners just about perfectly. He's doing everything he has to do to keep the lead. Another thing to note here, right as we go through this part, keep your eye on Kyle Lynott right there. They extended the track limits at this track recently for the NASCAR guys. We used to not be able to go outside there. We had to stay within that little curb there, and a lot of these drivers taking advantage of that has really changed us around. But Joe Volpes with another massive run, but he gets ultra loose coming up the hill.
Wow, Joe trying to be patient. You can see him here not wanting to just send it, but on the other hand, causing him a little bit of slippage. Now, Neal's going to test the limits of the grass there.
And there it is.
Contact.
Volpes sent around. Neal, very apologetic over the radio. Oh,
Joe
so unfortunate.
Having to wait for those next 2, 3 trucks to go by.
Now pass for the lead. Lynott going to look to the inside of Neal. I think Neal very shaken up right now. very apologetic over the radio to Vulpes. I think he is very shaken up, me and Gene, and that's going to be an easy pass for Kyle Lynott. Kyle Lynott for the lead at the Glen.
Yeah, well, you know, Lynott's probably got a loudspeaker out. What are you doing?
Yep.
You're so dirty, as he passes him. You're so mean. You should think about what you've done.
Exactly. He's probably making it
While I
worse.
drive
And
by.
Neil's still apologizing over the radio. Vulpes giving him what's even worse than I think when someone gets mad at you, he's giving him radio silence in return. Ugh. But Neil's going to have to put that behind him, put his head back on straight. It's not a big deal. Vulpes does not have damage. Just move on.
Yeah, but that's twice we've seen his tires go for a little ride. Vulpes now in 7th, trying to make some progress. Meanwhile, guess who's creeping up into the picture? Lynott does have that 1 second lead over Stephen Neal, but now Kevin Kyle creeping up as he finds himself in 3rd as well. So all of that activity up front giving the Sim and Destroy driver the opportunity to slowly bring it into picture. And then about a second behind him, you see David Brenner, and then the little gap back to male hot McWhorter and Joe Vulpes. McWhorter and Vulpes still very close to each other. A couple of teammate adjacent drivers. We'll see exactly how McWhorter treats Vulpes here.
It's also just about time, I think, within a lap or two, it'll be time to start lapping cars, and that's when things get real complicated, especially at a field like this. I remember I was able to win at this track in the, what was it? The MRL ARCA last year, me and Gene, and it was about a field this size, and when you got later in the race, it felt like it was Formula One. You were lapping a car every turn, it seemed like. It was so much traffic, and I think these drivers have been dealing with something very, very similar here today. Such big speed differentials out here on this track. Lynott starting to pull just a little bit away from Stephen Neal, and Kevin Kyle trying to keep them both honest.
Yeah, 29 drivers still on the lead lap. It looks like...
Perfect bus stop.
Yeah, Keeger and Quinn, and I think Jake Johnson is still rolling again as well.
4 laps down, and yeah,
all
he was in
32.
there for a while. And yeah, in front of him is the cow and the meat eater, so we'll even see if they're having their own drama between those two. Cow?
I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. That's Rich Swingle.
Oh yeah,
so,
Louis just did iRacing logo today.
Oh, Louis got the iRacing car.
Yeah, and he takes it low out of that corner. And then Joe, what do we know about our fuel? Normally at a racetrack like this, it's 13 to 15.
22 to 23.
Wow, so we're going with a much higher fuel capacity for these drivers here today, which would mean these guys essentially need to get it to 23, right? To make this a one-stopper?
Yeah.
Okay. And here we go, time to lap some trucks. Oh, this is perfect, Mean Gene. Oh my gosh, it might be nearly a three-wide situation. But you see Swingle pulling over, gonna give the lane to Lynott. Now Lynott's gonna have to deal with Neal through the bus stop. I'm sorry, Lewis through the bus stop, and I think Lewis is gonna give that as well, and Neal gonna try to follow him through.
Good work there by all the drivers involved, zipping through that bus stop. You can see Stephen Neal and Lynott get through cleanly. Lap drivers now facing David Brenner. Brenner in 4th in that number 22, and is just ahead of them, of course.
Really slowed down Brenner. Brenner had to follow them through the bus stop, not able to make that inside move that the other three were. Really slowed down Brenner. And here it is again, Brenner trying to get past Stephen Neal on turn 7. Not going to be possible. Going to try the outside through the final corner here. Never really a fun angle to have to take this one. That wall likes to sneak up on you. Great pivot of the truck by David Brenner mid-corner there.
Yeah, David Brenner, Gulf Coast driver, having a great day, up into 4th place right now. Last lap,
we got our Che around again, Mean Gene.
Oh, no.
I feel bad that I'm not even trying to pick on him. I just somehow, every time I accidentally click the 77, he seems to be around, and it hasn't been that many times. I swear to God, it hasn't.
You know what happens, though. I mean, it's just how it works out there. Now, thing about Brenner, he must have had a little hiccup because he was a second slower than the other top 10 drivers.
I think it was that bus stop. I think it was following them through that bus. Yeah, that's what lap traffic will do to you, I mean, Gene. Following them through a spot like the bus stop, which is always Jake Johnson around and big hit into the tire barrier for Jake Johnson in the 32.
Oh, no, we've already seen Johnson with trouble earlier. Currently being
behind
shown
him
6 laps
has
down.
wrecked as well. Who is 2 spots behind Johnson, Joe? 3 now. Johnson parks it. I believe Foss may have gone around. It was Foss. Foss went wide in turn one. He went all the way in the wall, while you saw a little bit of a loose moment for Johnson, who looped it back around and slammed in that tire barrier. And we saw Jake Johnson pull it over and call it a day. Attrition, Mean Gene.
Slowly having an effect on these drivers here today is Watkins Glen. Tommy Fox on track right there, the 57. Trying his best here. He's in 8th, so anytime you're in the top 10. Oh, no, a little bit of looseness there by Lewis, and looks like Joe Amato is going to bring it down into the pits here on lap number 15.
So that's got to be way too early. That's got to be because of damage, but he's going to two-stop it, apparently. That's what we're hearing from Smokin' Joe, and me and Gene, I don't even think you need tires here, so I don't know why you do that.
Well, he disagrees. He's going to take them.
And he did take tires on that first pit stop, so that's going to be interesting to see how that works out for him as this race cycles through. I personally, Mean Gene, I like to spend as little time as possible on pit lane in these races.
I agree 100%. Speaking of agreement, here comes Vulpes up on Mailhot. Mailhot going to take it up high. Vulpes now looking around the outside of Mailhot. Good run. And it looks like Vulpes is going to pass Mailhot as they draw up on that start-finish line. So Vulpes now, after a couple of incidents, back into the top 5 at the completion of lap 15.
Ooh, big loose moment there for Zach Engel behind JZ Bennett as they get through the last corner of the racetrack, and that might open it up. I think that's Nick Mills behind him. Bring that as neck it is. Nick Mills recovering from that earlier incident he had, doing a great job there. And then JZ Bennett just not having the exit speed that he needs right now. I think these tires are really starting to play an effect in the way these trucks are driving. As you see Amato back on the racetrack, let's see how fast he is. And now, yeah, here we go. We're going to get a few of these guys going with that two-stopper. We have the 35 of Barish in right now, and I just heard the 44 for Ferdiani let the field know he's coming in as well.
So really interesting to see just how much tire being eaten up by Watkins Glen. We're used to seeing tires last forever.
He does have damage.
This time, folks coming in. Good battle right here. Look at Bennett. Bennett trying to hold on. He's got Nick Mills dancing around him. Mills dives under the bottom, does take that position. Nick Mills, one of the few drivers still running 115s. You can see the top 5 guys running 115, 114s, and then Nick Mills as well. Looks like a quarter going to break into it, but all these other guys, 116s or more. And then when you get down to 17th, 18th, 19th, those guys are actually pushing back into 120s.
And then McCorder going to do the two-stopper as well. If I was a betting man, I'd say that those guys are not going to be in front of the ones who are doing the one-stopper. But what do I know, Mean Gene? We will see as you see Vulpes continuing his charge through the field. Next up, David Brenner.
One thing, if you do the two-stopper, though, that you don't have to worry about as much is losing control of the truck.
Yeah.
Those tires start to get old. You think your braking point is the same. It's not. And then maybe you spin out, somebody hits you from behind. Bad things can happen. Two stops takes away that element of disaster, some of the percentage of disaster. Meanwhile, boy, I'll tell you what, Vulpes, man on a mission. Now he's got his teammate in his sights. Behind him, the 66 of Mailhot watching this all develop. Can't wait to see if it's Brenner moving backwards or he and Vulpes moving forward.
Yeah, Vulpes is driving angry, but he's driving patient at the same time. Hard combination to find, I can tell you that. But you can tell Vulpes not happy about where he is. But also, yeah, I think probably going to make sure to save fuel. We know Vulpes so good at saving fuel at these types of racetracks. I saw Brenner during practice getting so loose through the middle of corners, Mean Gene, and I think that's going to be Vulpes' best weapon to try to get around Brenner, putting on some mid-corner pressure, maybe just trying to close that gap then, send it in deep into a few and see what he can do about that. Oh boy, as Vulpes does a little bit of a drift through the top of that corner, or the top of the uphill section here. This is such a scary moment because you essentially need to be flat out and there are walls all around you and no safer barrier anywhere.
This is the best action on the track. These 3 drivers all racing for position. Brenner, Vulpes, and Mailhot in that 66 behind them. This is for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Mailhot, best starting position of the year, up in 9th, now making his way up into 6th. and he's got the two Gulf Coast veterans directly in front of him. Meanwhile, Vulpes trying to exude patience with his teammate, but you know he's fully aware of what's happening up front. He knows that Kyle Lynott is dropping those fast laps. Lynott and Vulpes, same pit speed, same speed that last lap, but Vulpes has to be thinking if he can get by Brenner, maybe he can start to close that gap. But right now, that group, Zach, 6.5, 7 seconds behind our leader.
And then on top of that, Kevin Kyle is really, oh, here we go. Brenner gets loose through the uphill portion, and it looks like, yes, Vulpes going to complete the pass. And let's go up one position now. Kevin Kyle has caught the 45 of Neil. And this is also, yeah, we're being reminded now, this is also the in-season tournament matchup. Oh, as he gets contact with Schofield. Schofield sent through the middle of the bus stop. That's going to be an off-track penalty for Schofield. He'll have to slow down. Likely won't be happy with the 45 there, too. The 45 struggling through this part of the racetrack today. And he's going to open up the door again for Kevin Kyle. I think in his head again, feeling bad about what just happened there. Kevin Kyle going to drag race him through into turn 7. Oh, they hit.
Little bit of door action. Kevin Kyle pinched. Kevin Kyle trying to take it through here. This turn does make that pass. These two, of course, battling for advancement in the Euro Speed in-season tournament. So more on the line than just playoff points. It's also
nice run by Neil.
Who's going to get into that round of 8 next time. Neil still staying close, but Kevin Kyle taking over that second place position. They're about 4.5, 5 seconds behind Kyle Lynott.
And all that battling and all that struggling to get through lap cars is going to cost you dramatic amounts of time, and Lynott is taking advantage of all of it. He's slicing through these lap cars like butter, is Kyle Lynott. We haven't had any highlights of him lately because he's doing such a great job and just making it so quick. Well, you saw how much that cost Neil right there. And then you go to Vulpes right now. He's currently dealing with lap cars, and you can just see how difficult this can be.
Yeah, they're really starting to spread out now, Zach. We're here on lap number 20. We've seen some of the people
Neil
employing the two pits. Oh, another.
Oh no! And there goes
Neil.
Yeah, and there goes Vulpes around Neil. Neil just in his head and through the bus stop section, and that is so easy to have happen, Mean Gene. Once or twice through the same section of a road course, you make a mistake, and then every time you go through that, going forward, you're just overthinking it. And I think we're seeing that with Stephen Neal right now.
Not happy. Stephen Neal needs to refocus. He's still in 4th. But David Brenner and Mailhot slowly starting to close the gap on the 45. Brenner and Mailhot not done with this conversation as of yet. They do have lap traffic in front of them, but question is, will Mailhot make that move to get by, or is he content? We've seen a lot of drivers that don't have the success be perfectly fine following around at this point, but Mailhot's been so good on the road course today. It's going to be a very hard temptation to resist to maybe poke your nose under that 22.
I like what these guys have been doing a lot of times into one. Even if the pass isn't going to happen, and you're seeing it right there, you saw it with Joseph Vulpes right there. You poke the nose in there to show him, hey, I might, and it definitely makes the other drivers nervous. Whether or not you intend on doing it, just giving them that kind of feeling of uncertainty can go a really long way. And you're seeing a lot of drivers use that technique right now, and really brilliantly, I'll add.
Speed by the guys that did end up pitting. We can see fastest lap last time was Alex McWhorter with the 1:15.
Fresh tires.
1:14.52 on those fresher tires. Now, again, finds himself 57 seconds behind your leader, but now we're going to see him running a little bit quicker laps, but Lynott.
Whoa! Is that Smith? That is Ryan Newman and Chris Smith. I got it for you guys. Here you go.
Oh, no.
Oh, into Swingle first. Swingle as well was collected in that.
Smith, last week, third place.
96, 97, and 99. What are the odds of that? Oh, Smith, what are you thinking? Oh, my goodness.
Just getting back up in there.
Yeah. One way or the other.
Look at that. Everybody's trying to be taking the blame. Jake Shea saying it was his fault. Zach Engel saying,
sweet.
"Oh, I was looking at my fuel." Everybody, that's what happens out here, though. That's the great part of having a community of racers. This is exactly what Dennis Puckett envisioned when he was putting all of this together. Wasn't it, Zach? Just having a group of guys out here having a big time. You want to win. You're going to race as hard as you can, but you feel bad if you're the dude that causes the wreck, and you don't want to be just screaming at folks if you can resist it, especially when it's not your buddy. We saw that with Stephen Neal, a little bit of contact that he had, immediately apologetic, and definitely, I think, affected him the way we watched him fade and make those mistakes.
Brenner going to bring it down. I agree, and I think also, me and Gene, what really brings these drivers together at tracks like this, oftentimes is the common enemy, right? Can make other enemies join forces, and everyone here is racing Watkins Glen the same way. The track is the enemy, and they understand what these drivers are going through, and they are working together to try to put down 45 solid laps here. And speaking of, I think it's going to be Kyle Lynott bringing down the pits this time. I would not be surprised if Kevin Kyle and Joseph Volpes followed him as well.
Yeah, remember, 45 laps scheduled here today. We are on lap number 23, so this would be the second pit for a lot of these guys.
Yep, here he comes.
10 guys needing to pit. David Brenner, he's out on 22, so I think he's going to be right at that window of making it to the end, trying to maybe short pit once before the other guys. Brenner still being shown in 11th, just to show you the speed differential. Yeah, and look at business picking up. Here we go. Kyle, Volpes, Neal, Mailhot, all bringing it down.
So my assumption is, as Gambrel screams that he's going to pit, is that everyone here is going to take tires. Me and Gene, I think only one pit stop. We're not going to get a caution. Let's take the tires now. We saw how bad that fall-off could get, and not just that, how sketchy it could get for some of these drivers with those older tires. Looks like Kyle is not going to take 4 freshies, and he's going to get the heck out of there. Yes, he does. And great pit stop there for Lynott. That's Milliken behind him. He had just gotten lapped, so Milliken going to rejoin behind Lynott. And then look at how big of a lead he's going to be able to enjoy.
Yeah, the thing is, with Lynott getting those tires coming out like he is, he's run a really smooth race. Didn't have as big of a drop-off as the other drivers also on those old tires. So unless we see a Volpes-esque disaster strike that 988, you have to start thinking this really might be his day. I mean, he's coming out of the pit after that, after getting tires and fuel, and Lynott still in second place with a 5-6 second lead over Kevin Kyle. The only guy in front of Lynott's Tommy Fox, and he's yet to pit.
And then, yeah, Tommy Fox going to bring it in this time is what we're hearing. Good job by Fox to really hold on to that fuel. And man, I'm being reminded right now what it's like to drive these things with cold tires at a road course. Joseph Volpes going up the uphill section right now just got absolutely sideways. Made an amazing save and really didn't lose any time. But oh gosh, that looked like a brown pants moment for the number 13 truck right there. But Volpes, he has Kevin Kyle within his windshield, second place in front of him, and then after that, it would be just Lynott. Because yeah, I agree with you. If you're Kyle Lynott right now, I think you just drive that thing at around 70%. Don't make any mistakes. This race is yours to lose.
As he's watching behind him, Kyle and Volpes still going to have to figure out exactly what they're going to do.
Right.
Stephen Neal, 2 seconds behind Joe Volpes. You don't have to think about that too much. Mailhot, I'll tell you what, Brenner's still experiencing a little bit of fall off as he's 0.8 of a second behind Mailhot in the pit cycle, ends up losing that position to the 66.
He had just been passed before the pits happened. I think that's also what convinced Brenner to come in early. I think going for the undercut did not work out. But also, like we talked about, Brenner's going to have to do a tiny bit of fuel saving now to make sure he can make it to the end of the race. Sometimes it's better just to do it early, just to get out of the way so you can just go all the way down, pedal to the floor for the rest of the run and not to think about it. Maybe that's what Brenner's doing right now.
Going to keep an eye on that 22. All the drivers except Austin Rayburn have now come in and taken at least their first pit stop, some on the 2-pit strategy, but Rayburn continuing to push it. Not sure what the advantage is of going this far. There's not going to be a caution.
Yeah, it's a decision for sure. I mean, I'd imagine, yeah, You can make it. We're in the window. I don't see the reason why not to pit. You're not going to get the caution like we talked about. In other news, we have Vulpes. He is pretty much caught Kevin Kyle. And as Milken goes around in front of him, Milken going to save it through one. Going to get close to Stephen Neal, but nothing bad there. And now it's just going to be a duel between, it looks like, Kevin Kyle and Joseph Vulpes. And this is for second place. And you know that Kyle Lanot right now is likely the #1 member of the Kevin Kyle fan club.
Meanwhile, behind them, Stephen Neal and Adam Mailhot also very close. You can see it in that same picture. Those two guys, that is for position. And David Brenner only about 2 seconds behind. Would love to see the 45 and the 66 get into a little bit of a scuffle.
Oh, there he goes.
Mailhot going down low. Neal just going to give up the position, get back into line. Mailhot into fourth now. What a
drive.
Yeah, you got to be thrilled with what he's doing here today. Looking up a little bit further, Kyle and Vulpes, that gap still at about 1 second. Oh, Kyle, that was not the way to take that turn.
No, it was impressive how well he saved it and how little momentum he lost. I don't think Vulpes is going to have anything through one here, a little bit too far back. But boy, oh boy, you can tell right there, pressure is on and he's feeling it. Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, here comes the battle. Vulpes on that slippery part of the rider. Now a little sideways. I'll tell you what, Vulpes has been...
so loose through here.
Yeah, he's definitely swinging that thing around, Tokyo drifting it. And that's going to let Kevin Kyle pull away just a little bit more right there, back to 0.4 of a second. But look at this closing by Vulpes.
Wow. Kyle botches that, too. There'll be a better exit here for the 13. And he also concedes Steve Lewis in his windshield. He can use him as a pick if they can catch him at the right time. But he's going to draw a side-by-side with him.
Best action on the track. Vulpes going to take it down low. Kyle above the apron, back down onto the rumble strip, side by side, coming up to the bridge breaking point. Turn number 6, Vulpes versus Kevin Kyle.
Defense.
Gonna bring it into turn 7. This the treacherous final turn before the front stretch. Kevin Kyle with the advantage. Captain Crunch, Steve Lewis ahead of them is lap traffic. Vulpes going down low. This is scary, Zach.
He's peeking, and he's actually going to go for it, it looks like. Kyle going to give him a little bit of space. Side by side they go. Kyle with an amazing drive off. I think Lewis got a little bit loose on the exit there. I think it kind of spooked the 13 of Vulpes a little bit. Kevin Kyle going to live to see another day in second place. Meanwhile, all this is doing is giving a bigger and bigger lead to Kyle Lanot, up to 5.5 seconds now.
Yeah, Lanot taking it easy, though, out there. 117 that last lap versus the 115 of these two boys. Vulpes diving it down low. Oh, hard into the brakes.
Side by side through the bus stop, giving each other enough space. This is where we saw Vulpes make his first mistake in this race. So far, doing a good job, but one thing that Kevin Kyle is continuing to do, he's giving himself the outside, so he always has the drive off. He's going to have it again here.
Yep, onto the rumble strip. Look at Vulpes. He's right in the middle of the track, trying to avoid giving him the angle. Kyle and away goes Kevin Kyle. Wow, go. Yeah, you could see Vulpes was in the middle of the track, not wanting Kyle to come back up to get that angle. Smart driving there. That's racecraft. Kevin wanted to come back up and get the angle he needed. Didn't work out. You can't have two things in the same space.
No, you cannot. I think that's exactly what we just saw. I think Kyle wanted that wide angle, wanted to turn in, and Vulpes was there. And that's exactly what he said in the radio.
How about he didn't want a wide angle? He just wanted like half.
Yeah, something.
Just give me half. And
Vulpes said, nope.
Is like, nope, I'm here, buddy. You can't come up here.
He said, I've given you plenty of halves throughout this entire run.
We're all fine here. How are you, Kevin Kyle? Again, great racing by those two. And Vulpes knew he'd already had some bad incidents. He needed to use racecraft driving in that spot to make sure that Kyle couldn't get the angle he wanted, and Kevin bringing it up, and it just didn't work out. Meanwhile, Mailhot up into third now with that move.
And yeah, look at how much time that cost them. That's now a 9-second lead. That could be all they wrote for Kyle Lanot, but Joseph Vulpes has to take off nearly a second, about 0.8 a second, every lap if he wants to even see Kyle Lynott before this thing is over.
He can do it. He just got to quit Tokyo drifting. But
yeah, he's going to have to get the 13 underneath him.
Lynott looking great. Last lap, 1:14.53. Volpus did put up the 1:14.26, so still putting up good numbers. Both those guys 1-2 seconds ahead of the other fastest drivers on the course right now. Mailhot has pushed his lead over Stephen Neal to about 4 seconds. So Mailhot has to be thrilled with what he's doing here. Stephen Neal has, yeah, you look at Smoking Joe's stats there.
Smoking stats right there. And yeah, every lap for the past Neal has been faster, or Mailhot has been faster than Neal, and pretty significantly too, Mean Gene, by more than a second in some of those laps. So Mailhot doing everything he has to do to comfortably get a podium, and who knows, maybe then some. Volp is still within his sights. A lot of lap cars he still have to get through, and 16 laps. It's going to be 15 this time around, and I think that's about, 9 corners on this racetrack, and that, I always say, is 9 opportunities for a mistake.
No, 7. The bus stop don't count.
Bus stop doesn't count.
Not to me. I don't know.
You're going to get some letters about that.
I'm looking at Wikipedia. Now, look, check this out. Kevin Kyle, he's almost a second faster than David Brenner in front of him. So Kevin Kyle has recovered from his little spin-a-rooney, and now finds himself about 2.3, about 2 seconds behind Brenner, trying to close that gap. Yeah, and it's about that time for them boys to take their second pit stop. Alex McWhorter going to be the first of them. You can expect Joe Amato to follow very soon, and then Tom Barish and Zach Williams as well.
Unsurprisingly to me, too, didn't work out for them. Pitting out of 8th place right there. He'll likely fall out of the top 10. Yeah, he already has McWhorter. Just like I said, it just takes so much time in the pits. I think it's about 36 seconds at the absolute bare minimum you're going to spend down there, including the time you have to spend with that speed limit. So it's not a favorable position to put yourself in my opinion, me and Gene, and it doesn't look like it's going to work out for those who elected to do that strategy. But McWhorter at least has a new, I believe, fresh set of tires, going to be comfortable up there, and he's in front of Banesh.
I think it matters what your goal was here today. If your goal was to come out here and beat Kyle Lynott, absolutely, 1 pit stop, cross your fingers, don't burn your tires up. But if your goal was to not smash yourself in the bus stop, not lose it on the S-turns, 2 pit stops might have been the way to go. You just got to drive within the confines of your own ability with what you're comfortable with. And as we've seen attrition, also strike, only 18 trucks still being shown on the lead lap. Meanwhile, Kevin Kyle closing that gap. It is down to less than a second now between him and Brenner. I think that is definitely going to develop into something as we continue to watch. Kyle was back by Nick Mills almost. Now Kyle's pushed that lead to 3 seconds. So Kevin Kyle on a mission here.
Yeah, this is one of the better road course races I've ever seen out of Kevin Kyle. Even with that Volpus incident, he is really driving really quick around this place. And look at that, like you said, closing the gap so quickly on Brenner. That time especially got a massive run at that carousel. He's been so strong through there, and I don't think it's going to be much longer until he has reclaimed that position back in the top 5. Looking all over that 22 right now.
Oh, he's peeking around, trying to see the best angle to make that work. Dirty air not going to kill you quite as much on some of these turns that you're going to take at the lower speeds, but something like this right here, high speed.
Whoa, be careful, Kevin.
Yeah, he's rolling.
I can tell you what happened there.
Yeah, need to lock it up.
He was hugging the top of the racetrack, me and Jaden, and you sometimes don't see it, but he was really, really hugging where the grass was, and at the very, very end, right where the braking zone hits, the grass has a little divot, and it comes into the racetrack, and if you don't know it, or if you don't remember it, your left side, your passenger side tires are going to hit that grass, and you're going to lock up, and your car is not going to slow down the way you thought it would, and that's exactly what we just saw there.
All right, a little bit of action. Also, another battle going on right now. Looks like Tom Barish closing the gap on Chris Smith. Remember, the 37 did have damage early on, but now he and Barish battling for 15th position. This is an important position here at Watkins Glen. Remember, with this many drivers, you do see drivers in 30th, 31st, only taking 1 point. So to be up here battling in 15th, that's an extra 15 points you're going to pick up on this season in a series where there's not a lot of spare points to be picked up. No stages. So this is a very important battle. Smith slowly pulling away from Barish right now. So the 37 doing a great job with the damaged car.
And like we talked about going into this race, yeah, exactly. This is a really, really good points day for a lot of these drivers who have ran into some bad luck on ovals, or just this is a massive league more often than not. As you see Kevin Kyle to the inside of Brenner through the uphill section. Kevin Kyle going to try to reclaim that 5th position. And I think this might be the one, Mean Gene. We're going to go through the bus stop here, but he clears him before it. And all he has to do is nail this.
Here we go. Battle is on.
Great job by Kyle.
Yeah, Kevin's driving possessed.
Yeah, he
Good
is.
move.
Oh! Spun car in front of him. Moto in front. Brenner slams on the brakes. Unbelievably close to a massive incident for Brenner there. Oh boy, I think he has bigger things to worry about than 5th or 6th place now. But that also allowed the Kevin Kyle Sim and Destroy teammate of Nick Mills to get by Brenner.
Nick Mills now going to roll up and take over 6th place. David Brenner still trying to keep it roll. I think that front end is good. I think it was a light tap that he had with Amato, so not a problem there. Barish ends up coming into the pits, as does Zach Williams. So that's going to clean things up for that battle for 15th that we saw with Chris Smith. Another battle starting to develop out there. Tim Foss and Jake O'Shea. We saw Jake O'Shea having a little bit of difficulty, and now all of a sudden Foss taking over with O'Shea. O'Shea accelerating out. Good battle right there for 23rd and 24th.
And with 11 to go, Mean Gene, there is a chance we're going to get a battle for the lead. About 3 laps to go, I was going to say all hope is lost, but since then, Vulpes has turned on the jets, and he has put down some exceptional laps. Around a second a lap faster than Kyle Lynott. It is down to 5 laps. If he can stay with that pace, he will have enough time to get to him and make a pass.
Oh, we'll have to see. Kyle Lynott still putting in good times. That 1:15.68 was his last lap. This time 1:15.5, so picks up half a second on his pace. You know he's looking at the telemetry to figure out exactly where Vulpes is attacking in this mess. Meanwhile, Vulpes 1:14 repeatedly. Yeah.
That is a nasty lap.
Yeah. You can see Vulpes with that lap right there.
Oh, looks like we're hearing a Moto maybe around. Yeah, he's disappeared. I think he has towed after, that incident. Let's see if I can find it. But yeah, we saw a Moto. The few incidents. Yeah, here we go. I'll see if I can find it real quick, guys. Give me just a sec.
Meanwhile, it looks like Gambrel back into the pit. That's surprising.
Yeah, he had called that out. Yeah, I did hear from Gambrel he was going to be slow coming in the pits. As I'm still looking to see what happened to a Moto. I'm not sure if... Oh, he got DQ'd for an incident penalty, Mean Gene. Let's see if I can find... What number is Gambrel in this league? 46. Oh, wow. Where did Gambrel go?
So wait, Amato got DQ'd for incident points?
He did. Oh! For driving... Okay, here we go. So we're going to stay with Gambrel here. I think it's going to be right in front of him is going to be that wreck. See, I saw that smoke as well. Further back. Oh. Okay, so we're going back further.
Turning back to... Oh, no.
Oh, is that? Okay. Here we go.
That's the 31 of Rayborn.
Yeah, and this is through the bus stop. Is that Rayborn? Yeah, it's Rayborn right in front of him. Oh. Uh-oh. Where'd you go, Eric? Oh. And yeah, that was big damage for Eric.
Just keep burying it, too.
That was good. Okay, we'll stay with... Oh, sorry, we'll go back to Eric. 54, you guys said, right? Or 46, my bad. Sorry, my software this one is brutal. And there's Eric again. We'll see what happened to him this time. Oh, boy, behind them, it's a lot of mayhem going on. And this will probably be the other one, huh? Oh, boy. She don't turn anymore. Jeez. Oh, that car just mad at him. Oh, boy. Yep.
All right, 2 seconds now is that gap between Lynott and Vulpes. Vulpes once again 2.4 seconds faster the last lap.
Yeah, it's like Lynott held up by lap traffic that time. That's what Vulpes is gonna need, Mean Gene. He needs as much of that as possible to try to reel him in, but it is down to under 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's amazing work. Vulpes, the beneficiary of the lap traffic, but also his own driving skill to try to get it in, get it faster. And boy, you can see it now. He is on the same page.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, he's bringing that action. Rest of the field spreading out behind them. Mailhot a full 9 seconds behind Vulpes. You know, you got to feel bad if you're Mailhot. You're running 1:14.9. And you're just watching second place ghost you.
That's when you hit that moment where you're like, I'm not going to wreck myself trying to get a position that was never possible in the first place, and you just dial it back.
Yeah, he's up to 6 seconds ahead of Stephen Neal.
Seems like Lynott is having some connection issues as well, Mean Gene.
Oh, no, that might cost him. Behind them, you can see big gaps between the rest of the drivers. Maybe Jay-Z, Double O Joe could catch Tommy. I'm not really sure.
Oh, Sachet around again in front of the leaders, but able to be as far enough off track to not impact anyone. And now Lynott is going to have a lot of lap traffic to deal with. He has a 67 of Foss in front of him. Looks like Madison not making the trip to the Glen, but Tim Foss here doing a great job. And here we go through the bus stop. And if there's going to be a mistake, Mean Gene, this is where I feel like it's going to be. It's going to be here or turn 1.
Well, I think all of these give you that opportunity. Remember, these boys are trying to push the one-stop strategy. So these tires getting old. They bidded back on lap number 23, and we're on 39 now. So plenty of opportunities for the mistakes. Lynott, see right here. Look at that. Good job there. Foss lets off, gives Lynott that line.
Gives him the whole corner.
Yeah, he gives him all the angle. Here he is behind Binish, getting that preferred angle into the turn. Now, this ought to be interesting for him as he's going to be shooting down into turn 1 with these guys in front of him. Definitely going to cost him some exit speed.
I'm sure he was hoping they'd pull over there. But, yeah, that was a big moment there for Foss to pull over. But this is not where Lynott wants to be catching this group. Here we go on the uphill, and there's really not a ton of places to pass here. It's such a sketchy part. We'll see Lynott is going to have to exercise patience. Vulpes smells blood. He is absolutely sending it through the uphill to try to make up time right now. I think Lynott's going to have to send it through the bus stop here.
Keegan Lazar in the front of this group. AJ Binish as well. And then Lynott trying to figure it out.
Gosh.
Gets aggressive with Binish. Look at Vulpes now as well, trying to get around the outside of Binish. Finally does. There we go. Now Lynott looking below Lazar, wants to get by him. He knows exactly where Vulpes is. Joe, after all of the calamity, now has the leader in his grasp after multiple 1:14 laps. There it is, Lynott off the track. Better angle here.
Man.
Now they're going to race. Hopefully Lazar can just think straight and narrow as the leaders are on him. 1 and 2 separated by milliseconds.
Here we go into turn 1. Lazar still there as it nearly is a 3-wide situation. Vulpes gets into the lap car of Lazar, trying to kind of go out wide there, but that's going to give Lynott a lot of time, and I think more importantly for Lynott right now, clear racetrack in front of him. That's what I think he'd prefer more than anything right now.
Yeah, he does not want to be smelling Vulpes directly in his wake. Now after that little exchange, he finds himself a half a second ahead. Boy, good battling going on here.
And you see Lynott, he is driving his heart out right now. Just absolutely sends it through the bus stop there. So aggressive. And now through the carousel, picture perfect, hugging that bottom. Gonna go all the way to the top, hit those curbs. This lap is looking as good as any other. Actually looks like he's gapping Vulpes a tiny bit, but we've seen Vulpes so strong through this part of the track today.
Yeah, great action right here. Lynott, that's the first time we really saw him come under danger. Gets through as Vulpes makes contact with Lazar. Volpus now trying to close her back up. 5 laps here remaining. Great action here at Watkins Glen.
4 to go, actually, meaning so only 4 more times around for Kyle Lynott. 4 laps of no mistakes. He doesn't even have to be lights out fast. You can see how hard Volpus is driving. As Lazar goes off the track hard into the wall. Off turn 1 goes Lazar. Oh boy, that 988 is destroyed, and then he's on the inside wall. Lazar going to be done for the day after that one. With only 4 to go for Lazar, his day is over. But up front, you see Joe Volpus still trying to put on the pressure, and the 988 of Kyle Lynott.
Kyle Lynott with the 0.4 of a second lead, touches the grass. Volpus trying to make his way through there, lining up his teammate, battling as they're going to be coming out of 5, heading down the straightaway into turn 6. Volpus a little bit higher, brings her back in. That exit speed allowing him to close the gap. Going to come over the bridge into 6.
Here we go through turn 7, you see, or through 6, and you see Volpus not able to get to the inside there, not able to get beside Lynott. We're going to go onto the front stretch after the last corner, and there'll be only 3 laps to go. I think turn 1 is where Volpus has been most comfortable and where he's been a good amount faster than Lynott, but then you end up side by side likely through the uphill portion, which we've seen Volpus struggle a lot with. Don't know where he's going to make that move here if he gets the opportunity, and we're getting closer and closer to another set of lap cars. Steve Lewis in front of them.
Matt Schofield as well in front of them. Those 2 guys gonna be part of the equation as the teammates draw up on them quite rapidly. Lynott loose, going through the uphill. Also a little bit of connectivity.
Man, that was a loose moment for both drivers. I think the dirty air from Kyle Lynott hitting Volpus and sending both of them into pretty much a half spin. Sketchy moment for both drivers as now they're going to the inside of Matt Schofield, still missing that fender from very early in the race. Done a great job getting around, and he's going to give them all the room in the world. Class act is Schofield. Volpus still there, but here we go. 2 sets of corners for this lap, and then 2 to go, Mean Gene.
What an amazing difference going on between these 2 battling for first and second. And then you look back into 3rd place. 3rd place is just thinking, let's get to the end of the race. Let's hit my marks. No problem. These 2 guys downshifting, slamming it, sliding
loose.
It. Yeah, loose everywhere. Coming across, battling. 2 laps remaining into the shootout between Lynott and Volpus. Volpus has had contact with everybody but the pace car. Lynott has had a pretty much clear day. A little bit of traffic in front of him, but now this is it. It all comes down to this. Can Joe Volpus take advantage of what was an 0.8 of a second faster truck before the damage?
And here we go again through the bus stop. This is where Joe is getting those big runs, but you can tell every lap or every time he has to do it, it is so scary for him. He's so loose that you can't, it seems like, go full throttle to really get a big enough run. And then, yeah, blinking again is Lynott. That can't be helping Volpus as well. That's also going to mess with the air a little bit. Oh, boy. We're getting to the white flag, and if Lynott can pull this off, what a masterclass of patience and no mistakes yet from Kyle Lynott. Hopefully that wasn't a commentator's jinx. Only 2 turns to go through here, and we'll see if he can get another big run out of this last corner. Lynott has been exceptional through this last corner, Mean Gene.
Turn 7 working for the 988. Good run. Volpus goes inside. But look at the exit speed advantage, Lynott. Across the start-finish line, final lap here in the Property Management Incorporated at the Glen 110. Battle, but Lynott again looking smooth. That 988 is definitely a cleaner truck.
Yeah, he is right now, and you saw how close Volpus got in the entry of 1, decided not to put the bumper to his teammate, and that may have been his only opportunity. He is so far back now. The bus stop will not present anything for Volpus. All Lynott, I think, needs to do is hit his marks and get through the carousel clean.
Carousel turn right now, coming through, coming next. Here it is. Good angle by both drivers. Lynott rolling it properly, stays in the tunnel. Away he goes, coming out of 5. Lynott looking smooth. Volpus hoping for a miracle.
Yeah, Volpus ultra loose on the exit of that corner. I don't think he's going to have anything to say about this as Lynott. What a drive, Mean Gene.
Kyle Lynott bringing it into 7. Downshifting, slow acceleration, heel to toe. It's gonna be the 988 Kyle Lynott with the win here today at Watkins Glen. Joe Vulpes coming across in second decides, you know what?
Screw
I'm gonna
this.
full send and do a Duval impersonation. Oh, and there goes the front of it.
Yeah, geez. And in third place, how about this guy? What a drive from the 66 of Mailhot. Gonna put on the podium.
Yeah, Adam Mailhot got to be thrilled here today. He had a great practice session, qualified great, finishes even better, and that's what you want to see. You want to see that slow progression from those drivers. Mailhot got to be thrilled. Cannot wait to see how that's going to affect him in the poll, in the points as well, considering how many points a person can accumulate with these large fields and how few points others will get if they finish back toward the bottom. Neil gonna come home in fourth. Good day by the 45. Kevin Kyle does make chase after his contact, but unfortunately for him, fifth is as high as he goes. David Brenner in sixth. Seventh, Nick Mills, Tommy Fox
They're still
bringing it
finishing
home
well.
in eighth. Double O Joe. Ninth, Zach Engel, and then McWhorter Valley.
And Lynott blew up his engine somehow. That was a 0x race. It's not anymore. As Lynott gonna bring it around smoking. But what a win by Kyle Lynott. That is so hard to do, Mean Gene. To have that constant pressure from a driver that's been faster than you all day, qualified better than you, you know is capable of a little bit more than you. But Lynott did everything he had to do to stay in front of Vulpes and very much earned this win.
Yeah, both those guys putting up great speed. You know, funny story. Lynott actually put up a faster time than Vulpes in that race. He won 13:55 versus Vulpes' best time of 1:13:68. So even though Joe was fastest in practice and in qualifying, we do see Lynott, when push comes to shove, ends up being able to have that one smoking lap there. So there it is. There is your final stant tally of the race today. We did bring you through the top 12. After that, first lap car going to be AJ Benish. AJ 13th, better than some of those finishes we saw early on, but he's going to need to really put this thing into overdrive to get a good playoff run going. Chris Smith, the 37, trouble early, but comes back and is going to finish strong here. And there we go. Sam Milliken going to come home in 15th. Tom Barish, 16. Schofield doesn't have a front end, but he does finish in 17th. Tim Foss, another good run. Remember,
Nice.
Tim last week 10th, this week 18th on a very difficult track. So Mr. Foss continuing his upward climb. Jake O'Shea, 77 spins. No, that's his number. Crazy run for Jake today, but manages to finish here in the top 20. Austin Rayburn, the 31, also going to finish 2 laps down. Zach Williams, Paul Ferdiani, 21 and 22. Matthew Smith, boy, that 96 got bullied a little bit out there. We saw him with some contact, going to be home in 23rd. Keegan Lazar, 24, and Steve Lewis, the last car within 3 laps. The captain going to come home in 25th.
Yeah, we saw pretty much everyone else here have a pretty violent end of the race. Eric Gambrill getting destroyed. He'll end up 26th. Joseph Amato is part of a few big ones. He'll be in 27th. We saw Ryan Newman get just murdered. He ends up in 28th. Richard Swingle was part of that same wreck. He got destroyed. He'll be in 29th. 30th could belong to Chuck Kiger. 31st, Josie Quinn and Jake Johnson. We saw him with some early issues. He will wrap up this field in 32nd. And that just goes to show no one there on that screen, even on the lead lap. These are not easy races.
Now, let me ask you, you said what just happened to him. Are we allowed to say that on that this platform, or do we have to say unalived?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Is that how that goes?
Yeah, we're going to have to wait. I mean, we have so many Tony Iverson interviews that we've already put on. What was it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, if they go back and fact check us, we're going to be doomed. All right,
Exactly.
so let's go ahead and check out season standings after Watkins Glen. This is the 8th race of the 13-race regular season. Joe Vulpes continuing with that glorious lead. You can see there, Joe Oh gosh, I gotta try to do math. What is that? 55 points ahead of Kevin Kyle.
Nailed it. Good job.
Wow.
Good mathing.
Yeah, that hurt my brain. 55 ahead. Kevin Kyle also 8 starts, going to move up into second place. Jaron Valley moves up into third. David Owens dropping down to fourth. Of course, David serving the one race suspension here, scheduled to return at Bristol. Next few drivers going to hold their position. Nick Mills, David Brenner, Zach Engel, Double O Joe, Matthew Smith, and Matt Schofield. Solid 5 through 10. No movement between those drivers. McWhorter does jump up 3 spots for his effort here today. McWhorter, of course, coming home in 11th. Good run there by the number 15. Eric Gambrell drops a spot. And you can see there's a little point gap also there between 11 and 12. And then very tight here, Gambrell, Neal just 1 point behind.
+7.
Gambrell jumping up 7 with that great run here today. Stephen Neal finishing in 4th. Sam Milliken jumping up just a little bit. Novella dropping with his absence here today. Eddie P as well dropping 3. Freddie Annie down 1. Zach holding court, and the slow climb of Kyle Lynott. 5 starts, 1 win, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s. So Lynott been sporadic. You know, you're just throwing it against the wall, seeing what sticks. And today it's stuck in first.
Yeah, you can really see how much consistency he can do for you. David Owens suspended this race, so he is now also raced 5, and he's still in 4th place because 3 of those are wins. But that really does tell a story right there, doesn't it? But Lynott, he's still within reach. I mean, the playoffs are now only 9 points away from him, even though he's all the way back in 19th. So if he can put together a few more races, anything close to that, he will definitely have a chance to make this chase, as it's still so tight at that cut line.
Yeah, you figure 12th, and again, you can tie. You can tie.
Mhm.
There's no tiebreaker, but 12th with 108, Lynott with 99. That's 9 points. That is nothing. So really, as you look all the way down, even Benish there in 94 points, you know, he's really, you know, a good finish away from getting back into this thing. Benish, you know, only 1 top 5. He did win the opener, getting the win. He's got 2 top 10s, but other than that, a little bit of struggle for AJ. But I can't count him out, Zach. I'm expecting at any point for us to be like, oh, number 5 Summer Shanty, number 5 Summer Shanty. And I think,
agree.
yeah, I think that's going to be in the future. Want to watch some of these other drivers as well. Tommy Fox, multiple time playoff driver. A little bit of a rough run for Tommy right now. How about Mailhot right below him? Can he use this momentum to move himself forward? And then Louis there in 25th. Little bit of a kerfuffle. Louis had kind of a tough week. I think he's going to enjoy a little bit of time off and come back and see what the captain can do. You know, Louis, not a guy I'm used to watching bounce out of the top 15, but been a rough couple of weeks for the captain. So that's a guy as well that I'm going to expect to see moving back up this leaderboard.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just also just due to how big these fields are, right? Run into some early misfortune, like we've talked about so many times this season. You could end up going home without a single point. So sometimes even showing up isn't enough if you're not able to finish these races and finish them where you normally do. And because of that, yeah, a lot of interesting ones. Tommy Foxlore, than we're used to seeing, our defending champion on the outside, looking in by quite a bit back in 21st. Even guys like John Beverly in 29th, Zach Winstead, a really consistent driver normally in 28th. There is still a lot to play for.
Yeah, that's something I kind of hoped that we would have seen. Beverly, he's missed a few races now. He had 4 starts and put up some pretty good points, considering the size of the field. But you know, not being able to make any more starts. You know, we all work, we all have jobs.
Yep.
And I think that's what we're seeing right there. But good racing. Vulpes comes up short, but not in his points climb as he continues to move up. Next week, the boys are going to be at Bristol, and we're going to see what happens there. Matt Schofield will be our sponsor. cautions. No, we're not going to see cautions. We're going to see some amazing racing. Remember, we just watched that over in the Premier Cup, the Sunday series, and not too many cautions there. But the cautions that we did have were very detrimental for the individuals that took place in that. And then after that, we're at Daytona. Right? Is that where we're going to go? Daytona?
Daytona, no, that's interesting. Maybe that's the road course out in the extra end, or maybe it's just a part of Florida we haven't been to yet.
Well, we'll have to call up Jax Duvall and all of Florida Man Racing to see exactly what we can do. Final thoughts heading out of here today, Zach?
That was an awesome race. I always enjoy these ones a lot, me and Gene. I want to give a big shout out to all the drivers who had the balls to show up. It's not easy. It's not for everybody. But like we said, they're great point stays, and you never come out of here a worse driver. You learn a lot from turning it right, and these guys put on a great show. Congratulations to Kyle and Knott. No, Volp is probably not likely very happy about the end there, but another great point stay for him. He's going to continue to extend that lead and get closer to that regular season championship and another BRL championship. But wonderful race. These guys definitely, I think, got a nice needed reset as we now head back into another brutal, close, fast short track at Bristol.
Can't wait to see them do that. You know, the best way to watch it is make sure you are subscribed to the Vortex Racing Network. All of our umbrella races here. You just watched the Dennis Puckett Big Trucking Tuesday series. Tomorrow night, we're going to see the battle at Rockingham, as that will be the second race of the MRL DDI RL MRL DDI Moonlight Truck Series. Wow, that's a lot of letters. I can't spell. I can't see. I'm all.
You nailed it. You used up all the brain cells in the 55.
Oh, I did. So there it is. Going to see how many drivers we can fit. How many drivers can you fit on Rockingham? What's the verdict?
40. It was 40 is how many were able to fit. Yeah,
that's right. Remember, after the 57 field to Daytona, they did go to qualifying to get in with 40. And Zach said there's going to be some names that didn't make it. Might be a little bit of a shocker. In the spring, we're going to see the Quantum Contender Series go live with Kevin Kyle and an announcer to be named. But that will be live while they're on the track. It will be broadcast right here on the Vortex Racing Network. Sundays, of course, the Premier Cup Series. Join us for the championship at Nashville as we see, can Kevin Kyle or Joe Vulpes slow down the role of Jason Landry as Landry trying to make it 4 championships and 3 in a row. We'll have to tune in and see what is going to happen there. Jax Duvall, the wild card for me in that one, Zach.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. I had a ton of fun getting to do the cutoff race, and things are more competitive than I even expected against Landry. I think those 3 are going to have something for him. It's going to be a fun race, but as we know, it's Landry's, it's his
swan song.
Yeah,
right?
it's his swan song.
The farewell tour.
Exactly. I feel like that race is going to mean a lot to Jason Landry. We're going to have the best version of him. So I'm excited. I think that's going to be a can't miss race on Sunday.
Well, and you know, that's why I'm going to be looking at Duvall. If anybody's going to put that bumper right into that Canadian, I think it's going to be our Floridian to take care of business and send Jason north of the border with a fat lip. And then and Monday, we're gonna hold off one more week before the DDI ARCA series kicks off. You know what? We've got the drive for 500 coming up, and we're going to use that as a bonus event just to advertise a little bit more, give more people the opportunity to jump in to that ARCA series. 2,700 iRating cap for the DDI ARCA series. So for you guys at home, take this opportunity, sign up, join today, and get involved in some amazing racing right here. That will be covered live by Hilltop Bullet as part of the Monday night doubleheader before we go into the MRL Monday Mayhem Cup Series. We've seen some great racing there. 4 weeks in a row, 4 different drivers, 3 of them, of course, being from the Final Four last year. Watch this thing continue to develop. And speaking of the Drive for 500, this is something you might want to be a part of, might want to check it out. So many full-length Daytona events going on as the regular season about to begin. Watch a NASCAR. You got to watch NASCAR every Sunday. I mean, after all, the GOAT going for his 4th title. You're gonna want to pay attention to that. You're gonna see Denny Hamlin also come out and call people mediocre as he continues to not get championships.
Hey, this new format, you never know.
You never know, but
Kinda
like
do,
you
though.
like to say, cream rises to the top, baby.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
So there it is, the Drive for 500 full-length race on the 14th of February. Yeah, I know it's Valentine's Day, but we're going to start at 11 o'clock Eastern. Get this thing wrapped up in time to take your sweetheart out on the town. And you know what? It's going to be an extra special day because you know you're going to win this full-length race. It's going to be broadcast live by yours truly, Mean Gene Money, Kevin Kyle. We're going to have race control. There'll be a race marshal, so any foolishness will be dealt with immediately. All your friends can watch your victory. And look at that. Race winner gets an amazing 2-foot tall wood trophy. It's got fabric. It's got lights to look like a Vortex. Stage 1 winner going to get that beautiful Daily Driver Inc. merch pack. The Stage 2 winner gets a voucher for a track trophy future. You can pick where you want to use that at. And then, oh man, look at those raffle prizes, Zach.
Yeah, we got some real good stuff. We have the free livery by your boy Plant. That's Daniel Plant Smith, and he has some of the best. He has really, some of the best paint you'll see out there.
He got Baby Yoda, man. He got Baby Yoda on his drive.
That exactly. What else do you need? You have VRN hats provided by Animal House Customs. There's some awesome hats. The Team Conti Sim Performance $50 gift certificate. The VRN broadcast race voucher that me and Gene just talked about. The Sim and Destroy Racing Co. merch pack that we've been showing off a lot on these broadcasts. The Daily Drivers Inc. merch pack that we just talked about. And of course, the KK Woodscapes voucher for a free track trophy, which that is a great deal. That's my favorite one. That's the one I want to win the most.
Yeah, any chance you get to work with Kevin Kyle, you gotta love it. We've seen Kevin Kyle work with Sim and Destroy Racing Company. We've seen Kevin work with KK Woodscapes, and on lap 28, we saw Kevin Kyle work with Joe Volpus. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap us up from Watkins Glen. Big shout out to our sponsor, Jake Johnson, for sponsoring today's race. You just watched the Property Management Incorporated at the Glen 110. Little bit about Property Management Incorporated. They are the property management people based out of Florida. So if you'd like to reach out and talk to somebody about managing your property, whether it's an apartment or a B&B, 888-616-2564. You can also go to propertymanagementinc.com, dial in your zip code, and see exactly how these people can make you money. Professional property management you can trust. That's right, PMI. Check them out. Also, big shout out to Kevin Kyle and Sim and Destroy Racing for sponsoring our pole award this season, all season long. And Kevin's other venture, the KK Woodscape original trophies. You want to check that out as well. This guy makes trophies not just for iRacing, but also for fantasy leagues, youth sports, individual awards. Memorialize any event that you would like with a beautiful trophy. This guy will work with you. He'll even let you design something if it can work according to the laws of physics. Going to wrap us up. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, folks. On behalf of myself, Mean Gene Money, and Zach Panzarella, Smokin' Joe, thank you to all of our admins also who make this possible. The sponsors, you guys can't do this without you. And you, the viewer at home, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share the videos. Continue to watch. Join us tomorrow night for Rockingham. Can't wait to see that race. As always, bottoms up and hammer down.
Stay at the line. the scars from the last late lap. Number on the door like a loaded trap. Sponsor shining on a busted frame. All I ever wanted was to outrun my name. Daddy's old cap on the dash, sweat stain. He said, son, hold tight when it starts to rain. Now I'm loose in the groove, got smoke in my teeth. Reading every twitch in the tail of the beast. Bonfire racing lead. Turn it up, let it bleed. We're burning rubber on a razor thin line. Side by side at the speed of a scream. Bonfire racing lead. Where the wild ones come to lead. If you ain't ready for the heat of this fire, stay out the line. Stay out the line. Whoa. Stay out the line. Knock a wheel, I'm kissing that wall. One more inch and I'm losing it all. But I've come too far just to coast and fade. So I shove that fear back down and I let it blaze. Bonfire racing lead. Turn it up, let it bleed. We're burning rubber on a razor thin line. Side by side at the speed of a scream. Bonfire racing lead. Where the wild ones come to lead. If you ain't ready for the heat of this fight, stay out the light. Stay out the light. Then hard stop.